Hello, everybody out there. Welcome back to 91.8 The Fan. It is your favorite holiday-themed host, and I'm here with probably my favorite person to talk to. It's myself. Hello, myself.
Ah, shucks. How are we today?
I think we're doing pretty good. How are we doing?
We are doing great in California, except the weather is a little too damn hot. Can
Well,
I can I say that? Am I allowed to say hot on the radio here?
yeah, hot is pushing it. Like, damn is fine, but hot, well,
Yeah, no, I don't want to step over that line. I hate doing that. That's just embarrassing. I embarrass you. I embarrass me. I embarrass the
it's
fans.
embarrassing for everyone
It
involved,
really
really.
is. It really is. So maybe I won't say that anymore. It's very intemperate.
Hmm.
Plus side of the thermometer out here.
It's actually finally gotten rather nice out today. It's one of those, perfect blue sky days, a few
Mhm.
clouds here and there, which is appropriate because we just had, torrential downpours for the past like day and a half.
Oh my, okay. Well then you've earned it.
Yeah, we have, especially
Yeah.
since my car is older than I am. So naturally, once the engine gets a little too flooded, it doesn't like to start.
No, they're
Uh,
temperamental, those older cars.
yeah,
They are indeed. Well, it is yeah, it's a melty kind of day in beautiful Burbank, which is where I am now. Just finished a recording session.
you
And
gotta
so
kind of expect those things
you
now
do
and then.
this time of the year, you do. It's 100 plus. It just goes with the territory. It's all part of the price we pay for living in paradise, man.
Really is. But for the fans who are new to the scene, you are Chris Smith and I am Chris Smith, and this is a thing that we do. We just talk to ourselves.
We do indeed. I am the Eggman. You are the Eggman. We are the Walrus. Yeah.
Cuckoo, cuckoo.
Cuckoo, cuckoo. Thank you for that. I was waiting for the finish for that little exclamation point, and you provided it as I knew you would.
See, I know what's going on.
Because we are one.
It's kind of a thing, but for the fans out there, they haven't really seen anything of you since we talked. God, 2 years. It's been almost a full 2 years now,
Wow.
and
Wow. That has been a long time. Yeah, I remember that interview. It has been a while.
And just to, put a sort of timestamp on that, we weren't allowed to talk about Skyrim in by name.
Oh, jeez. Right. Right. Well, there are still things that I can't talk about, but Skyrim is not one of them.
Well, yeah, it's because Skyrim's been out for almost a full 2 years now, and
Well, yeah, I mean, it was Game of the Year in 2011, and this being 2013. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, puts a little perspective on it. It did well, though. I was really pleased at how well Skyrim did. It was great. I loved watching it win, Game of the Year.
I hear to
And
this day it still destroys relationships.
I'm not surprised because there is no end. You start playing that game, and there is no end in sight, except, of course, for your relationship.
Right.
Uh, but yeah, man, you can play that thing and wander all over with Tamriel or wherever it is you go, and yeah, it's like an addiction.
I
It's like
hear
an MMO right there in your computer.
I hear one of the worst things to do with Skyrim is to watch somebody who's really high leveled and watch them just go punch a dragon and kill it in one hit because then you think
Mhm.
that you can do that thing. You can't do
Oh
that
yeah,
thing
yeah, I could do
first
that.
start.
Sure. Well,
Right. I was like, oh, this is one of the things that you can eventually do. That takes a while.
yeah, it kind of does.
You're not
Yeah.
just gonna walk up and punch out dragons. You're gonna need
No.
it's gonna take some time.
Yeah, it does. It's not something that I would do personally.
No,
I
it's
Yeah.
it's definitely not something I'd recommend. But if
No.
if you want to eventually build up to that, just start with like a rabbit or something.
Punch a rabbit.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. Not
Yeah. And
obviously we're not advocating the actual act of animal
no, of
violence in real
course not.
life
No, we don't want the ASPCA getting on our case.
or
We're talking virtual
or
rabbits.
God forbid
Yeah.
PETA gets on us.
No, 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 no. Wouldn't want that. They'll throw things.
But then I saw you again at Anime Boston.
And
Not
Boston, one
this
of my
past
favorite
year,
places to be.
but
Yes.
you were there, and Keith was there, and Kirk was there, and it was pretty much a big Monsuno fest that year.
It was. We had nearly the entire cast of Monsuno, and Karen Strassman was
Yep,
there as well.
it's pretty
There were
everybody but Cam was there.
everybody but Cam. Yeah, which is too bad. We love Cam, and we missed him, but he wasn't able to make the trip.
Yeah.
But yeah, Keith and Kirk and Karen and I, just a wonderful, wonderful time. Well, they're some of my favorite people. I absolutely love those guys. Love watching them work because they're so good.
They're
They are just
good.
so good at what they do, and we all get along so well. I mean, we hang out with each other when we're not recording, which is fun and cute and kind of sad, I think. Um,
Well,
but
I feel like that there are a few groups. Like there's the Monsuno crew. Like you guys go and do a sash, and then uh, you just go and hang out. And then there's a couple other people. There's Matt Mercer's D&D squad, which is
love them. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's Matt Mercer, Sam and Liam, and Laura and Travis. I think
And
are
Lauren Travis,
the
yeah.
main crew of Matt Mercer's D&D brigade.
Uh-huh. And those are all great guys too. I mean, we all see each other. It's a very small industry. They keep trying to get Cairo and I to come over and join D&D. And I've never been a D&D player, and I don't like to do things that I know I will suck at.
Yeah, I'm pretty much in the same mind about D&D, but I hear that Matt is a great DM. So
That is right here as well. And we were all just out having drinks a couple of weeks ago, and they were talking about how much fun they have. And Laura and Travis were like, "Oh, you guys should come over." And I'm like, "Yeah, I would, but I would suck, and I don't like to suck." So yeah,
Well,
but we'll do it one of these times.
yeah, I hear
No, that's fun.
because I listen to Sam and Liam's podcast that they do, where they talk about how they work too much and they need to find more fun things to do. I hear that they may be planning a game of Cards Against Humanity, so maybe you can get in on that.
That's fun. Yeah, we've gone over to Matt and Marissa's place and played cards, and that was terrific.
This
That was really, really fun.
we've been playing the online version here with the staff every now and then, and one of the things you realize when you play Cards Against Humanity, for those
Yeah.
of you who have never played it, but you've played the more PG version, Apples to Apples, it's apples to apples, but it proves how horrible you are of a person inside.
It does, absolutely.
You are the absolute worst person.
And a splendid time is guaranteed for all.
It's the greatest time, and
Yeah.
I think Jackie actually had water in her lungs because she was laughing so hard when she was drinking. So she was coughing for the next couple of days just because she was laughing so hard.
Oh, gee, sorry, Jackie. I don't mean to laugh at your plight. That's not very nice of me, but that's pretty funny.
But
Wow.
it's just that kind of thing where as long as you're with a bunch of really good friends and you know each other really well and you already have a kind of good idea how bad you all really are as people,
Mhm.
then you can sort of revel in that together. So
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. We just had a sort of a mini Monsuno reunion over the summer, where a bunch of us all went up and rented a cabin up at Lake Arrowhead, and we wound up late one night playing Taboo,
ooh, that's always fun.
which was a lot of. It's very '90s, very
Yeah.
dated. All references were like '90s things. It's like, how many questions about the series Friends are we going to come upon here?
Ooh.
But it was still great fun anyway. And like you said, you're in a group of people that you know and you love and you trust and all of that stuff. So it was all good. It was
But
all good. And Cam was at that one.
aha.
We got to see him in action.
But now, obviously, since then, you haven't been doing nothing. You've been doing all sorts of stuff. And as you secretly imparted to me, you've been backstabbing LA a bit by going to Texas.
Oh, ouch! Your phraseology. Yeah. I guess I've been cheating on LA is maybe a little gentler. But
Yeah.
yeah, the good folks at Funimation have been bringing me out regularly. I was going out about every 5 or 6 weeks there for a good year, working on a bunch of shows, all of which are now either announced or released.
Yeah, that's
So I can
crazy.
talk about them because there's just a ton of great stuff coming out of there that I'm very fortunate enough to be a part of.
And we'll just go down the list of the ones that I am particularly looking. I'm looking forward to all of them.
Let's do that.
Let's be honest. Actually, I got an email yesterday that my next part of One Piece has shipped out.
Really?
Yep, so I will be getting season 5 part 2 probably
Okay.
tomorrow.
Okay.
Definitely looking forward to that. And obviously, the main reason we're talking about that is not to talk about the lovely Stephanie Young, but to talk about you're a jerk. You.
Oh, I would much rather talk about the lovely Stephanie Young because she's so lovely after all.
Yes, but right now we're talking to you today. We talked to
Uh,
Stephanie a while ago about
oh,
how much fun Robin is and how she makes literally every fan of One Piece cry in this particular
doesn't she
arc we're
though?
on.
Oh my God! And my character is so abusive.
And it's all your fault.
Her it
Literally all your fault.
oh, I feel terrible. And she does the little whimpery puppy face, and I'm like, no, because I love Stephanie. She's so sweet. And I'm like, oh, I can't do this because it's like putting a boot on Stephanie, and it's like, no. But it's just a role. Just keep reminding myself it's only a cartoon character.
Who did the lines?
Yeah,
Who
I
did the
play.
lines first for those scenes? Was it you or was it her?
It depended. A lot of times I came in and she had already done her stuff, but sometimes I got in first. So it just depended on the particular session.
Ooh, that
But
that sounds like it could be a little rough.
it, we're used to it.
Yeah,
We're used to it. I've been doing this for 20,000 years, and so yeah, you just go in and you're like, oh, I'm the first up, nah, no problem.
yeah.
But
One Piece is
yes,
one of those. One Piece is one of those things where, when I watch it, even the smallest thing can turn me into a sniveling baby. Uh, like right now, I'm just at the part where Usopp is talking with the giant, and
all
uh,
right,
the giant is talking about how his friends were
yes,
in prison, so him
uh-huh.
and his other partner they were serving out this 100-year sentence so they could be released, and now he's all upset because their boss friends won't be able to come out, and it's like these giants are making me cry,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm.
a big part of that is because Sonny can get really emotional when he wants
Oh,
to.
Son is terrific. Yeah. They've
I
got a great cast, and I mean I have to give kudos to Mike McFarlane.
It's
Who,
really a lot due in part to Mike's direction, especially since Mike's been around the block,
yeah,
so he knows how to direct and he knows how to get that emotion out there.
he does. He's a fantastic actor in his own right, and he brings all of that experience to his directing, and he's also really efficient. I mean, he knows when he's got what he needs, and sometimes that's quick, and he's like, okay, got it, moving on. I'm like, wow, okay, sure. And sometimes we'll massage something,
Yeah,
but he's really good at getting it. Plus, for me, I walked in knowing exactly what the voice was going to sound like
yeah. You
because
walked in for Spondum and you put
right,
more of a Joker spin onto it because
that's what Mike wanted. He actually heard my character of the Joker from the Lego Batman
right,
projects, and he went, "That's what I want for Spondum. I want that kind of energy. I want that kind of maniacal intensity." And so he just said, "Yeah, apply that." And we tweaked it a little bit, so he wasn't exactly the Joker, but there are a lot of Joker essence there.
definitely. It like that was the one thing I picked out. All the different nuances of the different voices you have. I mean, obviously you have your normal speaking voice, and then you have your condescending douchebag voice that you go for with like the Emperor and stuff like
Right,
that, and then
right.
you've got Bren.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. He's poor Bren. The dude's going to be like 33 at one point, and he'll still sound like he's in puberty.
that's one of
But
my favorite things about Bren is just the way that you can always put that crack on his voice. And it's like,
you
oh
can't.
no, Quick Force,
Oh,
go!
right. Oh no. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We sort of started at Shaggy, and then tweaked him a
Yeah.
little bit.
And then you've got the sort of the maniacal side with the Joker and Spondum, and it's definitely because the original, well, not necessarily the original voice, but for the one game where they had to pick voices at random because this was even before they started dubbing the show.
right.
Spondum was Kent,
It was Kent Williams, I know.
and
I know.
you, not to besmirch you or Kent in any way, but you are not necessarily Kent Williams.
I am not. I'm aware of that every morning when I awake.
Uh,
That he and I are different. That he and I are different people. And you, being me, would also be aware that I am not Kent Williams.
mostly because we don't, make a living out of puppetry, but
Absolutely.
that is neither
Yes.
here nor there.
No, it is. It is neither. It is not. Well, it's somewhere. I'm just not.
It's somewhere, but neither here nor there, somewhere in
Or,
between.
or that. Yeah. But yeah, I was thrilled to be brought in, especially because it was a lot of work. Spondum has a 52 episode arc in the show,
And
and so yeah, that's
long,
why they brought me down. They brought me down every 5 or 6 weeks for almost a year. And when they would bring me down for Spondum, there was always something else going on, whether that was Appleseed or Future Diaries or Sankaria or High School DxD or whatever was also going on. It's like, hey, throw Chris a bone and have him do this character in this show. And I love doing that because then I would get a smorgasbord of wonderful directors. I'd come down to work with McFarlane and we'd have a great time. And then it's like, oh, and you're going to spend half a day with Colleen, who I adore.
Colin
So,
is just
or
wonderful.
go with Jerry Jewell or Joel McDonald or Chris Bevins, who's my bro. It was just great, just great.
And one of the other great things about being a part of the Ennie's Lobby arc is if you talk to any long-standing One Piece fan, they will almost always cite Ennie's Lobby to you.
That's good to know because there are people much more knowledgeable of the show than I love meeting them and I love talking about them because I always learn stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty much, you've got your basic start, Alabasta takes forever, and then the next big one that people talk about is always Ennie's Lobby because of the emotional drama involved, and
Right, right.
it's just insane. But as you were saying,
Oh, I was just going to say, and yeah, the emotional content, definitely. I lay that squarely at the feet of Stephanie Young.
yeah, it's you will cry. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you wouldn't think that show that is just so extreme and loud and over the top could affect you in such a way. You'd think, oh, this is going to be funny. But no, it's very touching.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
I
sure,
think that's
it,
why it's so popular.
it's got all the funny moments and the big action scenes, but it also has that emotional part to it, where it's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, this is, yeah, okay.
Right, right. So I'm wondering because I told a friend of mine that I was the voice of Spondum, and her son immediately said, "Oh, you're the biggest douchebag in One Piece."
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if Spondum actually is the biggest douchebag in One Piece, and if not, I'm wondering who is.
Well, as far as I've seen, I don't pay attention to all the stuff that comes out of Japan. I'm going
Mhm.
DVD by DVD. So
Right,
uh,
right.
up to this point, your
Mhm.
only real competition, I would say, is probably John Swayze.
Ooh, all right. Could I take him in a fair fight?
Well, based on what I know about John Swayze,
Yeah.
um, this is just a few random things here. There was that one time he jumped off a convention stage at opening ceremonies and broke his foot.
Hmm.
Uh, and there was also the time where Chris Sabat got access to his Facebook because John didn't sign out, and his favorite sport is now cuddling.
You always want to. You gotta take precautions. You gotta have a firewall around your life if Sabbath is nearby.
Apparently, Sabat's not the only one because I've been seeing a few things on Twitter between Laura, Travis, and Liam, and they are all terrible people.
Yeah.
But
Oh man.
but you were mentioning that while you were doing One Piece, since it is such a long involved thing, that you have been able to do a bunch of other stuff over at Funimation.
I did indeed, and very, very fortunate to have been able to do that. Yeah, I mean, they brought me in on so many productions. Some of them, larger roles like Future Diaries
Future
and
Diaries. What?
Gun.
Which number are you? 10?
I think I'm 11.
11. That's right.
I'm John Balks.
Hmm.
Um, superior douchebag.
Yeah,
What
that's
a shock.
what.
Yeah. Yeah.
Obviously, no one's surprised at this point, but
No, 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 not at all. Christopher Smith,
it's
the
yeah.
douchebag. Wow, what a stretch.
I'd be insulted if you weren't.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's what was so different about Jormungand
Mm.
was playing a character who is not. Um, I mean, he's one of the mains, and he's not a snarky douchebag.
I don't
Uh,
think any of the main cast is really all that snarky,
no,
except
no,
you know,
they aren't.
for Coco when she wants to be serious. But other than that,
Exactly.
it's a very down to earth show about selling weapons and shooting people.
Exactly. Exactly. It's very the content and the tone of the show are very dignified, and I don't want to use terms like adult because we have different connotations for ooh, that's adult content.
Right.
But it's mature. There's a level of maturity in the show that I really respond to, and that's part of what made me so happy to be part of the show was the tone. Um, and yeah, oh, I'm really super excited now that they've announced it.
Yeah, they
Down
finally announced that last weekend at Dragon Con.
did I know, and now I can talk about it because I'm super excited. There's 2 seasons of the show,
Right.
and I just think it's one of the best things I've ever been involved with. I got to voice Lem, who it's a toss up as to whether or not Lem or Keaton is now my favorite character to have
Wow,
played.
that good?
For me, it was. I just really, really, really liked him. I didn't know exactly how I was going to approach him, but I sat down with Chris Bevins and we did a little pre-watch of the show, and I'm like, oh, I know exactly where I'm going to go because I'm a huge, huge fan of Breaking Bad.
Mm.
And so I sort of took um, the character of Mike Ehrmantraut from Breaking Bad, and
Right, right.
a lot of his characteristics are what I applied to Lem. That sort of reluctant badass.
Yeah.
It's like, don't make me shoot you. I don't want to shoot you, and you don't want to be dead. So just, and then he shoots him, and it's like, you made me shoot you. I didn't want
But
to,
you knew I would if I
and,
had
and I
to.
feel and I feel bad, and now I don't feel bad anymore.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll move on.
So yeah, but he was just so much fun to play. Really, really, really enjoyed him, and I think I enjoyed him for the simple fact that he wasn't a villain, he wasn't a snarky douchebag, and he had integrity to
Yeah.
him. So many of my characters don't have integrity. I mean, you look at Spondum. Spondum's great to play. My God, the vocal calisthenics required to do that character are tremendous. But he's not really a character who has morals or ethics.
Not
Um,
in the slightest.
no, no, not at all.
Actually,
Not at all. So getting to play
he
the
barely
character,
has a spine, to be honest.
I'm not sure. It may have been ripped out at some point, and then they just sewed him back up.
It's
Um,
yeah, he is definitely one of those characters where it's like you're a really good villain, but other than that, I really don't like you.
right, right. Oh, there's very aside from comedy, from
Right.
comedic value. Yeah,
Stupid coffee.
there isn't really much to latch on to with Spondum as far as personality traits that you'd want to align yourself with.
I just love
Um,
all the coffee gags,
I
especially
love that.
the
I love.
the one through the transponder snail where the snail acts out the action of taking the
So,
coffee and throwing the cup against the wall. It's like, how dare you, coffee? How could you have done
I
this to
love
me?
it. So many good moments in that show. Oh my goodness.
But
Uh,
other than that, you've also had a few uh, not quite so major roles in other things that have been announced. High School DxD is coming out
High
soon.
School DxD. Yeah, well, I'm actually one of the main bad guys in that.
Ooh,
Gosh, shock. I play Riser Phoenix in
that's
that.
such a great name, Riser Phoenix.
I love it. I love it, and I had never done It was my first show of this particular variety, shall
Oh,
we
you
say.
mean the booby fan service shows?
Exactly. Exactly. And I'm like, boobs! Wow! Okay. Um,
Yeah,
and so
you don't get a whole lot of those out in LA, but Funimation, they do at least one a year.
they do. They do, and it's kind of impressive. No, I mean, all my other shows, like, Bleach and Naruto, and although I think Gurren Lagann, I think Yoko qualifies.
Yeah, Gurren Lagann was probably one of the
Yeah,
earlier examples, but it wasn't
it was.
just that, but it had that.
Right, it definitely did. Um, but no, the show's out here, and I mean, Digimon, not really.
Well,
Um,
Digimon's for kids.
Digimon is for kids, exactly. And my other show that's airing now, Crossfire Beatamon,
Ah,
which
yes,
is
the Beatamon.
on the CW on Saturdays. Yeah, very much for the younger anime crowd.
Definitely,
No,
definitely.
no teenage fan service going on there.
And also coming out of Funimation in the near future is Senkaria.
Or OMG, my girlfriend's a total zombie.
Yes.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Funny story about auditioning for that, because I will read for anything. Just about, it's like, give me all the male roles. Come on, yeah, I'm gonna read for them.
Yeah.
I and I read for all the male roles in Sankaria and didn't know anything about the show, didn't know anything about the characters really, except what I needed to know for the audition. And then I'm talking to Joel a little bit later, and he's like, blah blah blah. Yeah, one of the characters is kind of a pedophile, and I'm like, oh God, please don't let me get the pedophile.
So,
Please.
next couple days.
I'm like, oh God, and then I found out later that I got Doan, who is the kindly father, and I'm like,
Ah.
really? Not, I didn't. Well, there were really no snarky douchebags to get in
But
that.
you do have the kindly father aspect in Kai and Cross.
I do. Ugh, he's all over the place. Who knows? Who knows what? Yeah, yeah. He is kind of kindly father in a flamboyant sort of drama queen sort of way. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
that was funny too because they kept promising me, "Don't worry, he gets badass."
He does. It does happen.
It does happen, but we're going through because it's how many episodes? I think it's more than 12. I forget. Anyway, whatever the episode count is, we're getting deep, deep, deep into the show, and I'm like, "You promised me badassery. Where is that? Come on!" It's like he's wearing a shawl and he's drinking tea. That's the total extent of his badassfulness right now.
It's like the
And,
last episode of the second season. It's like, here
right,
it is.
and it's oh wow, okay, and then he goes back to wearing a shawl and sipping tea.
Yeah.
So, it's like, excuse me, I have to go kill everything, and then, would you like some tea?
Oh,
Uh,
tea's ready. Would you like some?
exactly.
But
That was a good show. I loved working on that show.
yeah, loads of fun. But we
Wow.
here are going to take a quick musical break, so don't go anywhere, because when we come back, we'll talk about even more stuff. There's still more stuff to talk about. You've been a very busy guy.
I have. Hard to believe. Wait, do I have to sing?
No, there won't be any singing. The music will do the singing for us. We will just
Hey, all right. I'm glad. Yeah, that wouldn't be pretty.
no. I can't sing myself either. So
Okay.
it's
Okay,
another
good.
thing we share in common besides just a name.
Indeed. All right. Well, then I'll wait here.
All right, so for the fans out there, don't go anywhere because we'll be back in a few minutes on 91.8 The Fan, where we play everything you want and nothing you don't. Hey, everybody out there, I am still your favorite holiday themed host, the DJ Christmas, and I'm still here talking to myself.
Hello, Christopher Smith here in lovely Burbank, California.
Yes, we are two minds on the opposite sides of the country.
Or still gray and slimy.
It's the best. But
Mm-hmm.
we're talking a little bit behind the scenes about all the stuff you've done, and it's been so long that there's a lot to talk about.
There is indeed. It's been a very busy 2 years since we last spoke.
And obviously, most of the fans know this by now, and I just let you know that I have put 217 hours into Fire Emblem, and you are
Mhm.
fantastic.
Well, that is very kind of you to say. Thank you. I love being a part of that game and had such a good time recording it. Yeah, I got to be. I'm three characters in that, and it was just tremendous fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one of them doesn't say very much. What are Victor's three lines? Hmm. Hmm.
That's something like yeah. But luckily, the playable avatar talks a little bit, and so does Yarn. Don't mess with the bunny.
Don't mess with a bunny.
Yeah,
He's the strongest Togwell in the world by default.
exactly. Don't mess with the bunny.
It,
Well, so if you put that much time in, you must be good.
I'm not as good as I would like to be yet. Basically, all the time is basically just grinding back and forth to get better.
Hmm.
Um, one of my favorite characters, other than you, of course, is KG Tang's Owain because he is just so incredibly over the top.
Oh, KG's great.
It's just a lot of fun. So I think I've got his character to max level, and I can't raise his stats anymore. He has surpassed his final form. He is complete.
Uh-huh.
It's just one of those things where if you do work at it, you can be really good. But there are still some maps that I can't even beat yet. Like I can't even think about challenging them because they're still that difficult. I need to dedicate myself even more.
Well, then you must, young Padawan.
Indeed,
Mm.
it's basically me just going and killing monsters over and over again until I'm strong enough to fight this one map.
There,
It's pretty insane. I've seen
good
somebody
month.
do a run of it on YouTube.
Uh,
The YouTube video is 2 hours long, so
Whoa!
yeah,
All right,
it's that
all right.
intense.
Jeez.
But as we said, you are one of the three selectable male character voices, alongside David Vincent, and I forgot who the third one is because I only pick you. That's you're the only voice.
Oh, you're sweet. Was it Matt Mercer?
No, Matt Mercer is the other main character, Crom.
Oh, okay. Okay, I knew he was in it.
Yep, he plays. Basically, you two are the two mains,
Uh-huh, I see.
and then spoilers for anybody who hasn't gotten this far in the game. Laura Bailey is Matt's daughter.
That's odd, but
It's
okay. Yeah,
it's slightly odd,
yeah.
but at the same time, I have you married to Hunter Mackenzie Austin,
Okay.
um, and then uh, let me think. I think Jessica G. George is one of your
Uh-huh.
daughters,
Aw.
uh, but she's also your mother because she plays Yarn's mother.
Ah.
It's one of those
That's
things where if you get
that's
into
good.
it, it's
Incestuous.
it can get a little confusing. Like I have Orion Akaba being his own father, so that's it's always
He
fun.
can do that in real life. That's an amazing thing about Orion.
Yeah, he definitely has the talent to do it. We talked to him a
Right.
while ago, and he's loads of fun. Speaking of Orion and Jessica, uh,
Yes.
the project that you share with them that is still in production, Gormiti. Uh,
Gormiti.
I feel
Yes.
I feel the need to bring it up just because it sounds like such a fun show.
It was a blast to work on. And it's such a great cast. Yeah, Orion and Jessica and myself and Grant and Richard Epcar and Dave Mitchell and David Lodge. We had just a wonderful time recording it. It's a great show. I got to be one of the heroes.
Hooray!
Surprisingly, yes, I was not the bad guy for once. However, I am the snarky hero.
Oh well.
So yeah, I play Noctis, Lord of the Air. Uh, I happen to think he's the coolest looking character because he's all birded out, you
Ah,
know, um, and he can fly and stuff, being a bird and all. But not sure where Gormiti is going to land or where it's going to wind up being broadcast. I hope it's someplace where people can actually see it.
if
Maybe.
I had to take a stab, it seems like a show similar to the vein of the stuff that's been on CW in the past.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I would say your most likely shots are either there or maybe even Nicktoons might pick it up.
That would be great. That would be great.
That
Yeah,
that
being on
that's
Monsuno, I
yeah.
am very familiar with Nicktoons. Yeah.
That's just from past experience. I know that CW had picked up some of those other Italian animated shows before,
Oh,
so
gotcha. And Nicktoons has Huntic,
that's true.
which
Uh,
I am also on, and
that's actually the one that I'm thinking of. That used to be it used to be a CW show, but then Nicktoons grabbed it.
and now Nicktoons has it. Yeah, yeah.
And who's the big Yuri? Yuri, I think, is the big one in that.
Yuri's in that. Karen Strassman's in that.
Well, of course,
Uh,
Karen's in it. Karen's everywhere.
yeah, yeah, she's in everything, and deservedly so.
Indeed.
Um, yes, but I think you're right. I think Yuri's in that. Jumping back though to playing to different people playing relatives and sons and daughters and mothers and things like that. Um, in Vampire Night,
Yes.
Vic Mignogna is my son.
Hmm.
So there you go.
That's an interesting thought.
It is. He plays Zero,
Right.
and
Right.
I play headmaster. Not biological father's son, but adopted. It's
Yeah.
still kind of funny.
There's nothing wrong with adoption.
Yeah, nothing wrong at all, and I just love the idea of giving Vic a condescending pat on the head.
I was like, there you go. Good job,
There you
Vic.
go, son. Go out and play.
And now,
Exactly.
other things that we've talked about that are coming out soon. I
Mhm.
think the regular edition of Future Diary has already shipped, and people are awaiting that. But I was waiting for the special limited edition part one.
Mhm. Mhm.
Basically, instead of just the sort of softer package, it comes with a hard case that is big enough for part one and part two to go inside with it. Uh,
Very nice.
I was browsing Amazon one day, and the limited edition part one was on sale. Instead of being 65, I believe it is still only $30.96. So
Woo, such a deal.
I would definitely grab it. That ships out the 17th, and I am greatly looking forward to it. I got part one and part two together, so those will just go right in the same box together.
Ships out the 17th of September.
September, yeah.
Wow, coming up soon.
And then the other big thing that we talked about earlier, Jormungand, that's not until December 17th.
Drats. I won't be able to wallow in that until next year, practically.
Good
Uh,
Christmas show to get, though, if you're looking for
Good
stuff to get
Christmas
for
show.
Christmas.
Nothing says Christmas like illegal arms dealers.
Exactly. I mean,
Really makes the season bright.
it really does. I mean, nothing says, hey, Merry Christmas, like a gun being smuggled.
Right, exactly. Here's a 50 caliber shell with a full metal jacket.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
And it looks like, as of right now, part one, and it's a Blu-ray DVD combo. Funimation's always really good about that.
Cool.
As of right now, it is about 45 big ones for just the part one, but I'm sure more details as we get closer to that date, and
Right.
probably a sale or two, especially if it's coming out around Christmas time.
I would imagine so, yeah. And there will be dealers who'll be, I'm sure, selling it at conventions and things like that.
Yeah, all that good stuff.
So exactly.
But
So that's
in other news, I don't think he's been on the show in a while because they're moving at a decent pace. But Rose on Bleach.
Oh yeah. There are big gaps that happen in between my recording sessions for Rose, but I've done a couple lately, so there's going to be a little more Rose action.
Yeah,
Uh,
if I'm not
Coming.
mistaken, they just got done beating up Kyle because Kyle's a big jerk, and Rose is a big part of the whole beating up Kyle part. So
Yes, the whole beating up Kyle arc. Um, yeah, definitely.
what a jerk that Kyle Bear going off
I
these
know.
conventions.
Jeez.
How dare he be in the UK right now? How dare he?
Talented, nice guy that he is.
Ugh,
Yeah. If people didn't like him so much, I
wouldn't like him so much.
didn't like him so much. Exactly.
But bouncing back to LA, you've been on a couple of shows that I think you share with Kyle. We were talking a bit behind the scenes that Kay is taking off rather well.
Okay. Absolutely. Yeah. They did a whole big launch at Anime Expo.
Yep, and that
Yeah.
is still going on Neon Alley. I think episode 8 just aired last week on that. Uh,
Yeah.
so only a few more. I think that show only has 11 episodes, if I'm not. too mistaken.
I'm not sure if it's that few, but I know it's not a huge. It's not a huge batch.
It's not one of the big ones. It's one of those one season type of deals. Japan, they go in 3 month bouts, and you either go on past the 12 or so episodes, or you just get that one season.
Right, exactly. And I play Ren Goto and Ryuho Kamo in K, and I mean every episode, but I don't always have a character with a name. It's one of those. It's sort of back to the story of Code Geass and Monster and those days when I did absolutely every character in the background.
The guy on the third guy from the left that dies when he screams.
That explodes. Yeah, that screams when he blows up. Exactly.
Yeah, that one.
Exactly.
There you are.
Now I do more of those. It's not just okay. Come in and do one guy. Come in and do 8 in this episode. It was funny in Code Geass. Actually, they had to stop using me in season 2 because I would wind up talking to myself, and I would wind up being recognizable in the background. So they were like, we're kind of overusing you. I think you're a little saturated. So
that's always one of the funny things with bigger shows, and Code Geass is definitely one of those. It's not necessarily Bleach or Naruto big, but it's got a good 50 episodes under its belt.
It does.
And one of the earliest examples I can remember of that is from Naruto, where Sam Riegel plays 2 characters, and once they get into the meat of the series, it's not just Miley and Yuri and Kate and Dave doing their own thing. They're introducing the bigger cast, and Sam voices these 2 characters where you come to find out in about 15 or so episodes they fight each other for a good episode and a half. So they switch one of them with Derek Stephen Prince, so it wouldn't be too noticeable.
Oh, that makes sense. Because otherwise, it gets very Captain Kirk, where you got to fight yourself.
Yeah, so. And it just would have been really awkward. So basically, for 2 episodes, Sam is both of the characters that would have fought each other. And it's definitely a good thing that they caught it when they did and made the switch that early on. But other things that you've been in, for people who haven't been paying attention to you, which why wouldn't they? You're in the anime sensation Gurren Lagann, and they should be paying attention to anybody who is in that ever.
Well, it kind of is the best thing ever. I do have to say. But I mean, I'm the guy that everybody's heard, but nobody's heard of.
Yeah.
So here I am.
So we'll go through a quick rundown. Obviously, Kitan, Gurren Lagann.
Kitan, Gurren Lagann, Headmaster Kyan Cross in Vampire Knight. In Naruto, I've been mostly bad guys.
Mostly bad guys. You're the main villain.
Ichigate, Ibiki, Akaboshi, who I realize are they kind of straddle the line.
Yeah.
Rose, Wonder Weiss, Matiko Kibune in Bleach.
Great bad guy. One of my personal favorites.
He was fun to do. I made it into the Full Metal franchise at the tail end. I'm Major Peter Soyuz in Sacred Star of Milos.
Great movie. Always lots of fun.
I'm Maru in Toriko. I'm Bright Noah in Gundam Unicorn. I'm Kinosuke in Durarara. Let's see, who else?
The Emperor in Dissidia Final Fantasy.
Emperor in Dissidia. I'm about 30 different characters in Monster, and again in Code Geass, and a ton of them in Redline. I was in a show that I loved doing called Honey and Clover that nobody's seen. I was Hanamoto in that. I was the Mikado in Moribito, Abe in Ghost Slayer Ayashi. I did multiple characters that featured prominently in like Hellsing Ultimate, Persona 4, Last Exile, Overman King Gainer, Tenjo Tengi, Gundam Force, Samurai Champloo, blah 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 blah
blah blah blah. Skyrim.
Oh, Skyrim, yeah, one of the big games. As far as games, I mean, I'm Rufus in Street Fighter 4. I was Superman in Mortal Kombat versus DC. I'm the Emperor in Final Fantasy, Dissidia and Dissidia Duodecim. Way back in the day, I was Agent Smith in Matrix Path of Neo.
Ironic, but fitting.
I know, right? I was Tenebrae in Tales of Symphonia 2. I was in Dead Space 3. I'm Supreme Commander Gagan in Star Ocean 4.
Can't forget the Joker, Lego
Can't
Batman
forget
2.
the Joker. Absolutely not. In the Lego Batman franchise, I've been Nobunaga in Samurai Warriors, Sun Wukong in Warriors, Orochi, Yuan Shao in Dynasty Warriors. A ton of characters in World of Warcraft like Mal'Ganis, Fandral Staghelm, Razzle Crushcog, Fist of the North Star, Steel Battalion, Vandal Hearts 2, Ratchet and Clank, God of War, Atlantica Online, Lunia Skycrawler, Xenosaga, Devil Summoner, Soul Hackers. Yeah, few things in there that have kept me busy over the last couple of years.
And of course, all the stuff we've talked about today, Spondum and Yarn.
Absolutely, Future Diaries and K and Erica 7 AO.
Oh, yes.
Yamaoka in that. That'll be coming out sometime soon.
I actually think that just came out the last time we talked to somebody who was in that. It was coming out.
Nice. Good. Then I didn't blow anything by just mentioning it.
Yeah, who was the person that I talked to that was in that? I want to say it was at the tail end of last month. It might have been when I talked to Morgan Garrett.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure that came out like on the 21st or so. It may have been the 20th of August. So I believe part one of that is out. And with the first season of Eureka 7 being on Toonami, hopefully Astral Ocean gets put on there as well.
I hope so. That would be great. God, I'm so glad Toonami's back.
It's definitely great that they're doing so much stuff. And actually, when I was talking to Morgan, we did a quick shot on where they are in One Piece. I think there's only about a month to go before we get into some Spondum action.
Oh wow, that would be great because I know they're running it on Neon Alley as well, but they're way back in like the double digits or something like that.
Yeah, they started from the beginning for Neon Alley, and they started at the Davy Back fight arc for Toonami. So,
all right.
It'll eventually it will be hit. But for anybody who wants to hear you right away, pick up the DVDs. Season 5 Part 2 just came out this week.
Well worth it. Well worth it. Games.
Games.
We were talking about. I am in the little game that could, and that is State of Decay.
Right.
On the Xbox Marketplace.
Right. So for any of you guys out there with the Xbox 360, I personally don't have one, but I've been hearing about this game left and right. It's one of those great zombie survival games. Not necessarily in the same vein as Last of Us, but I hear it's got a lot of similarities, and it's a lot of fun to play.
Yeah, it's been getting great reviews. It's sold 5 times what Microsoft was expecting it to do. So I'm just so proud. I'm proud of the developers and proud to be a part of it. Glad that it's done so well.
Especially since it's not one of those, AAA disc titles that cost $60. It's just an arcade marketplace game.
Exactly. Well worth it. Very addictive, and well done. It's a very intelligent game, which is nice. Takes a little while to get into, but it's very deep. It's very deep, and there's a lot going on. So I'm really thrilled about that. I'm also in the Sci-Fi Channel tie-in game for Defiance.
Ooh.
For the series, which is very cool. And another one. This is an older title, but I was Captain Kurnow in Dishonored, which was Bethesda's follow-up to Skyrim. Didn't do as well, which was kind of a bummer because God, it was a beautiful game.
A beautiful game, but honestly, it's kind of hard to top Skyrim.
Yeah, admittedly, yeah. Skyrim was definitely the way to go.
Yeah.
If you had to pick one.
If you had to pick one.
Yeah. Oh, and as far as anime goes, I'm in Berserk.
Berserk.
Yes, I'm the
new Berserk movies.
In Berserk, I'm actually going in tomorrow. Going into the studio tomorrow to do some more recording.
Ooh, and I know they did the first movie. I think the second movie might even already be out.
Yeah, the first and second ones are out, and there have been big events
Yeah.
around them. So I know Viz has been really pimping them.
Yeah, big events over in the LA area, and then they always have big announcements for when they show them on Neon Alley.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, and they let me know. I get pinged on Twitter when there's stuff coming up, and I get all excited.
Yeah, whoever's running that Neon Alley Twitter does a really good job about making sure that everybody knows about everything.
That is Raven, and she is awesome. Yeah, she's my buddy. I just was up in San Francisco not too long ago, and she and I did some interview stuff, and she is on the ball.
I hear that you may have gotten some sort of exclusive shirt.
Yes, yes, a shirt that is only available to people who like win contests and stuff like that. So I feel like I won a contest.
Ooh, look at you, Mr. Fancy
I
over there.
I know, right? And it even fits, and it says Neon Alley, and my son approves of the font. He's like, "Ooh, that's a really good font." I think my son is a bit of a font snob,
Ah,
but he likes it. He says it's good.
you see if you
So
could snag me one. Bring it over when you come over to AAC. Oh, let's talk about conventions.
conventions, we love them. Yes,
You and
absolutely.
I are going to be blowing the roof off of AAC in October.
That is what we do in New Hampshire.
Mostly because it's hard to have us both in the same room together.
It really, yeah, it's sort of like matter and antimatter,
Yeah,
or yin and yang, or pasta and antipasta.
yeah.
It just, yeah, it destroys the fabric of time and space.
But we'll be joined by the likes of internet sensation Little Karibo, as well as other super talented people, Chris Kaysen,
Chris Kaysen, my
Tr-
dear friend,
Troy Baker,
Troy Baker, awesomeness.
Michelle Knotts of Pokemon fame.
She's terrific.
Stephanie will
Uh,
be there.
Stephanie will be there, and J. Michael Tatum.
Stephanie and Tatum, two more awesome people from the
They are,
Funimation crew.
they are indeed. They're fantastic.
Robert
That's
Axelrod. Robert always goes.
Axelrod. He brings the party.
He's super fun to be around. For those of you who may not be familiar with Robert Axelrod, look deep back into your childhood and remember Lord Zed from the original Power Rangers.
Yes, exactly, exactly. And it's hard to believe that something so evil could come out of a man who's so nice.
He's he's the nicest guy.
He's the nicest guy.
Uh,
Really is.
it's loads of fun, and of course we will be there. Myself and Eternal Scholar and DJ Midnight will be there,
Really.
broadcasting the radio for your listening pleasure and doing all sorts of convention coverage. So come find us blasting the music, and we might do a quick live spot with you there, as well as any of the
Hey,
fans who will be there.
I'll definitely track you down.
Well, we won't be hard to miss. We'll be the one playing music.
You will be, and you'll be the one that says the fan.
Yeah, we'll
You
be
can tell.
super
Yeah.
pumped for that. But do you have any other conventions planned out for the future that you know you're going to?
Yeah. Going to be at Anime USA in about 2 weeks in Washington D.C.
Ooh.
Along with Troy Baker and Laura Bailey Willingham and Travis Willingham and Mike McFarlane, Stephanie Young, Kari Walgren. That's going to be a lot of fun.
How can a
Uh,
building contain that many awesome people?
it's I'm really thrilled that they found a way to squeeze me in. So yeah. And then in October, the weekend right before AAC, I will be in Wichita, Kansas, at it's Encounters Wichita is the convention. It's going to be me and Jamie Markey.
Ooh, Jamie's always fun.
She's fantastic. Love her. She's just like so stupidly talented and really crazy funny.
Yeah.
She's great to do panels with because I can just sit back and watch. And
Yeah.
she carries the whole thing and is very, very entertaining.
She's definitely one of those people where she always has fun with whatever she's doing.
Oh yeah. Yeah, she really does. She really does. And then I'm going to be at Collision Con in Chicago in November.
Ooh.
Because where does one go in November? Chicago.
Yeah.
Because it's warm. Actually, I will be done with hot weather by then, and I'll be looking forward to some chilly breezes blowing off the lake.
Well, that's why you come to New Hampshire in October. It's
Exactly.
it's
Oh,
nice.
dude, are you kidding? New England Halloween?
It's
I come to AAC and I get the Halloween I've always wanted as a kid.
pretty
It's
much.
it's great. They take such good care of us. It's one of, if not my favorite convention, it's one of my favorite conventions to go to. The staff is great. Big shout out to Lisa Sussenberger, whom I adore.
Of course.
Yeah.
And speaking of Halloween, on our front, we will be at YomaCon for Halloween weekend in Detroit, Michigan. So, all the fans out there, come check us
Awesome.
out. It's basically the first time I've ever done anything like that. Two conventions within like a week and a half of each other. So, it will be interesting.
You will be a little bit draggled by the end of it, I'm
It's
sure.
it's also the first time I've been on a plane in about 6 years. So.
Oh man, you're slacking then. You need to
Well,
get on
I'm
top.
I'm not a superstar voice actor, so I don't have all these places across the country saying, "Hey, come to our convention across the country."
Hey, you could be Kyle Ebert and they could call you from England.
International superstar Kyle Bear.
Kyle Ebert. Fabulous, fabulous in his own right. Who's joining you at Youmacon?
He is. He'll be at YomaCon.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
The Habercorn will be at YomaCon,
Ah, brilliant.
and all sorts of other good people. I think
Love it.
they've still got people that they haven't even announced to the public yet. Even I don't know who they are. That will be also coming to YomaCon. So keep an eye on YomaCon's page. Keep an eye on another AnimeCon's page, especially for panel details. Those should be coming out soon, since we're coming
Right.
down to like the month away mark, and that's usually when all of the schedule stuff gets finalized.
Right. I'm really excited when we do Anime USA. We're going to be doing a production that I wrote.
Oh,
It's sort of like I liken it to an audio cartoon
oh, I
where
think
we get everybody live on stage,
I think
and
Kyle does those a lot too. It's sort of
he
a
does
a
he does quite
radio
a bit.
play.
He tends to draw ones like he'll do old classic Batman
Yeah,
uh, radio shows and things like that. And I like to do ones that I wrote because I'm an egotist like that.
I think you did this
And
past AAC last year.
we did indeed. We're gonna do it at Anime USA as well with Travis and Laura and Troy and Kari and Stephanie and myself.
Well, that's
It'll
definitely
be
bound to be loads of fun for anybody involved. If you're in the DC area, go to Anime USA. I'm not even.
absolutely go to Anime USA. You will have a blast.
It's not even a maybe go to Anime USA. You have to go to Anime
You
USA.
have to go. I mean, I think the Congress is going to take another vacation, and they're going to go.
It's
Uh,
gonna be fun for the whole family, to be honest.
it will, it will be absolutely, absolutely.
Now, normally at the end of the show we ask you for a bump, but we still have all those bumps you gave us at Anime Boston last year. Unless you'd like to do a new one. Oh, uh, you said you're in Digimon Fusion, which premieres this Saturday.
I am indeed. I played Gigimon and a ton of other various mons.
Of course, a bunch of various mons, but Jijimon, for those of you who are not well versed in the Japanese language, Jiji is essentially old man or grandpa. So, how is your grandpa voice?
That's pretty good. He sounds sort of something like this. And he's very flatulent.
Hmm.
Gigimon is very flatulent. Just a warning for people out there who may be off-put by farts. Yeah, but
It,
my old man voice is quite fine.
it was just one of those things, like, you mentioned it to me as like things that I should be prepared to bring up for the interview, and you're like, Jijimon. I'm like, I haven't heard him do an old man voice. I mean, I just hear, the Joker, the smarmy douchebag, and Bran.
Yeah, he's a character that I've done that voice before, sprinkled throughout other animes that just needed, oh, here's a one-liner kind of thing, but because it's a very charactery voice,
Yeah,
but they wanted Digimon's a very charactery show, and
absolutely.
they wanted it. That's the way they heard Digimon. So and they signed off on me, and I'm happy about it because it's a great show to be associated with.
And that will be premiering on Nicktoons Network this Saturday at.
Yes, yes, indeed. I'm not sure if it's Nicktoons or if it's Big Nick.
Oh,
Uh, I'm thinking it might be Big Nick.
check your local listings for details.
Let me check. I'm checking right now. Uh, Yeah, Nickelodeon
Oh,
is
wow.
Nick. Saturday, September 7th at 1:30 p.m., 12:30 Central
Wow. Look at
on
that.
Nickelodeon TV. This is the official word from Digimon on my Twitter.
Nice.
So I'm
Very
guessing they know
nice.
what they're talking about. And for the little ones out there, watch Crossfire Beat 'em on the CW on Saturday mornings. I think it's 10:30.
Hmm.
I play Drossian, the main toy, and then I play Saiga, who owns the Beat 'em shop.
Very cool. I believe that also for you older school Digimon fans that the original series is running on the Nicktoons network. I think that's where I got confused. And I'm sure Fusion will rerun on Nicktoons at some
I'm
point.
sure it will too. I'm sure it will too.
But this Saturday, don't miss it. It's
Definitely not. It's a fun new romp with in the Digimon universe.
wow. I can't believe I feel like I was just watching it when it was aired in Japan. Like not that long ago.
Yeah.
It actually came out 3 years ago in Japan. So uh, maybe
We're just now getting around to it.
maybe I've
Yeah.
just lost all sense of time. These things tend to happen. You watch so much stuff. It's like, when did this come out? Oh, 5 years ago. Okay, cool.
Uh-huh.
It's like Monster, one of those critically acclaimed shows, came out in like '06. It's like, oh,
It's been forever. Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
one of those
Yeah.
things. Um, but before we let you go, because obviously we don't want to keep you here all day because it's a
Oh,
beautiful
but
day out in California.
it's a great place to be. But then I have to go out into the world and melt.
Yeah. Do you have any final words of wisdom for the fans out there?
I get asked all the time how to get into voiceover.
Most voice actors do.
Yes. And my response to that is, first of all, take a class. I started out a long, long time ago by taking a voiceover class at a junior college of all places.
Ooh.
And my teacher for that class went on to be responsible for getting me work for the next 15 years.
Wow.
So take a class. Don't just take a voiceover class, take an acting class, take an improv class. An improv class is going to serve you best because you need to be able to pull characters out of your hat at a moment's notice. And you need to be able to switch up those characters and give them different attributes and different personalities and different vocal characteristics. And a background in improv is what's going to allow you to do that. So a lot of people think, oh, well, I'll take a voiceover class and that's how I'll get started. Take one of those, but improv, young captain, improv. That's
Improv.
my words of wisdom.
And
Improv.
also, in the vein of learning more and becoming more seasoned, there are all sorts of great books by great people like Yuri Lowenthal and Tara Platt.
Absolutely. Get it, buy it, read it, memorize it, then eat it. No, don't eat. But yeah, it's terrific. It's full of wonderful facts and fun stories and very inspirational. So yeah, get it, read it, and then go out and practice it.
Absolutely, voiceover
That,
voice actor
that's what you need to do. Yes,
for the aspiring voiceover voice actor.
exactly, exactly. And you'll be supporting wonderful people.
They
Tara and Yuri are just wonderful, wonderful people.
they are pretty wonderful.
Yeah,
But
kind of are.
yeah, that's all the time we have to talk to ourselves today. But as we've said, join us at any of the conventions that we'll be at, especially the one that we'll both be at together here in lovely Manchester, New Hampshire. Uh,
Gonna
my
be a great time.
my own hometown, so I basically have to walk down to the nearest hotel where it's being held at. So,
And there it is.
and there it is.
So
Wow,
it
right
will
there.
be a lovely place to live, work, and shop.
Of course. But make sure you keep it tuned to 91.8 The Fan because even though we'll be gone, we still have all of the greatest music because we play everything you want and nothing you don't. See you later.